How good do you know your 401k? Do you remember all the instructions when you signed up for the plan? Did they explain to you all the good and the bad? Why don't we just take a look at your 401k and see if this is what you remember? So, how well do you know your 401k? Let's say that you signed up for your plan when you were 25 years old. Now you're 35 years old, and then you have probably an amount of, let's say, for easy math, $100,000 in your plan. Now you're thinking on retiring when you are 65 years old, so you still have about 30 years to work. When you were 25 years old, did they explain to you that there's two numbers on this plan? One is 59 and one half, and the other one is 72. Did they explain to you what they are? So if you happen to get some money out of your retirement account before you are to 59 and a half, did they explain to you there's a penalty? Do you know how much is that? Did they tell you that is 10% of the amount that you are going to retire? But guess what? You haven't paid taxes on this amount. So out of the withdrawal that you do from your 401k before you're 59 and a half, you're going to have to pay federal and state taxes. Do you know how much are those? Did they explain to you that you may have to pay 35 to 45% of the amount that you withdraw? This is going to end up being between 40 and 50% of the amount that you are going to retire. Now, do you know what is the number 72? By the time that you get to be 72 years old, the government is going to do some requirement minimum distributions on your account. Why? Because you haven't paid taxes all this time. You haven't paid taxes in 20, 30, 40 years of your working time. And guess what? They do want their money. So let's say that at that time you have some income coming in, you may have some rentals, you may have some other retirement accounts, and then you don't get your required minimum distribution that year. Do you know what is going to happen? Do you know that there is a penalty? Did they tell you how much is the penalty for? Do you know that is 50% of the year distribution that you will have to take? Guess what? You still haven't paid taxes on this money. That means that you're still going to have to owe 35 to 45% more on the money on your distribution. So for instance, let's say that this year you have to withdraw $20,000. 50% of the $20, it's $10,000 that you lose right there because of this penalty. Now you have another 35 to 45% taxes that you will have to pay, so you will end up with about 5,500 or so on that year. But now let's say that you're 65 years old and now you're about to retire. By this age, probably your family already left home, you're living by yourself, you and your spouse. You don't have expenses, the house probably is paid off, you have some other income coming in. But the first question that I will have to ask you is, are you looking to continue with the same lifestyle that you have right now, or are you looking to downsize? Because you are already 65 years old, you don't have these penalties. The penalty is not gonna apply. But guess what? You still haven't paid taxes on this amount. And the question that I ask you is, if you are thinking of keeping the same lifestyle or even more, do you know what kind of taxes are you going to have to pay on your income when you get to be 65 years old? If you are looking to downsize, you have to live with half of the income that you receive right now. If that is not going to be the case, you're still going to have to pay between 35 and 45% taxes because you haven't paid taxes on this amount. Are you willing to live with half of the money that you are going to receive from your retirement account on the 401k? But this is not the bad news. The bad news is that the 401k is tied to the market. If it goes up, you make money. If it goes down, you lose money. If it goes up, you make money again. So if you get to retire when the market is up right here, then you make money. But what about when the market goes down, then you lose all the money and there's no money to retire? Forget about all this tax that you have to pay if there is no money for you to retire. So what is going to happen then? Knowing what you know right now, if they would explain all this to you, would you have still signed up for the program, or would you have looked for another alternative that will offer you guarantees and more money for you to retire? Let's say that you are contributing $500 per month on this account. So what about if you keep putting the $500 on an account that is going to guarantee that your money is going to grow without being tied to the market, where there's no losses, where there is no 72 rule, there's no 59 and a half rule. You can put in as much money as you want. There is no penalty for you to withdraw your money. There is no taxes, and when you get to withdraw your money, it's all tax free. Will that be something that you may consider? Now that you know all this information, are you still convinced the 401k is the plan for you? Do you remember all of these things? Or you would choose to do something different if they would have explained all of this to you when you signed up for the plan? If there's a possibility that I can show you a better plan, one that you can save two, possible maybe three times as much to save for your retirement, will you be open to do that? Please call me at the number on the description below and let's talk about your 401k. My name is Julio Sanchez and let's save your retirement plan.